What's up, nail geeks, and welcome back to another Emily to Molly video. This month I have a huge video to show you all. I think all the way back to September, possibly October, where October was just bananas and I got so behind. There was a ton going on. And I didn't get around to posting my Emily to Molly video at that time. And then it just kind of snowballed each month. And so here we are for a March release now. And I do apologize about that, but I'm here to dirty enable you all. Emily to Molly is such a freaking fantastic brand that I am not doing anybody any justice or utilizing my title of dirty enabler if I'm not showing these all to you. They're so gorgeous. So in this video, I'm going to have everything going back all the way to September, all the way up to the new March releases. The time I'm recording this, it is our polished pickup posting time. So by the time I get this video out, I know the March releases are going to be available. So thankfully, once you're done watching this, get you a list going on, and then I will link you all in the description box so you can head right over there and order what you're seeing, because you're not going to want to miss out on any of these. So without further ado, get comfy cozy, let's dive right in. Up first is After the Fall. This is described as a khaki green base with large particle green to purple to red shifting multichrome pigment and pale gold to somewhat champagne magnetic effect. Now, the last couple of releases, we've had quite a few magnetics, as you'll see throughout this video. There are some super stunners. I know this weekend is polished pickup, and if you missed out on her shade, but as you can see in her shop, she has some pretty damn awesome ones if you are having some FOMO in that regard. After the Fall is what I would describe as being an easy to use, user-friendly magnetic with a multi-chrome base. Airflow is a blue Aurora shimmer base with a silver magnetic effect. So we have our second magnetic, and this one's really just kind of ghostly in how it appears. It is pretty noticeable in person. I wouldn't classify it as being a more subtle type of magnetic pull when you magnetize it. And if you want to wear it unmagnetized, it's this beautiful silver chrome with like a blue type of tint going throughout it. It's very lovely. This is another one that I chose to take up to 3 coats, but I think 2 normal coats also works as well. So your preference on that. All That I Wanted is a rose gold base with a soft pink gold green shifting large particle shimmer and silver reflective glitters. This is one of my top picks in this video. I have a couple, and of course, per usual, I'll be sure to point them out to you all. This is so pretty. It's what I would describe as being it's like a bubbly champagne on your nails. It is so ridiculously sparkly, and even though it's what I would consider more of a nude, kind of almost neutral to some skin tones, I still thought it popped beautifully on me. So if you like blingy polishes like myself, this one is it, and it is so, it's just so sparkly in person. You will need a glitter smoother with it though. Animated Gaze is a brown base with a metallic shimmer that shifts from a light blue to a dark blue. If you appreciate those super strong metallic type shimmers, this is going to be up your alley. I agree that the official description on that base color, it being a brown, I do see it in person. You can kind of see it as I do my coats, especially on that first coat, but I don't know. I think the shimmer just kind of takes over everything, and that's really what's giving you the opacity here. Now, I took this one also up to 3 coats, which is what I typically prefer, but I do think some of you with shorter nails or more narrow nails, less real estate than what I've got, might be able to get away with 2 coats. Be mindful of your brush strokes to prevent streaking. Behind again is a neon green base with a copper to gold to green shifting Aurora shimmer. This is one of my top picks in the set. I do love a good lime green when done correctly, and over the years, Haley has given us a couple of absolute stunners of the lime variety. This is a creamy, smooth formula, another one that you'll want to be cautious of your brush strokes to prevent any potential discrepancies between how opaque each of your layers look. It's almost jelly-like in that regard. But I think 2 normal coats, don't be afraid to go in and touch heavy-handed and light-handed, and you're good. This will dry down quite matte. Check Again is a light purple base with a strong blue to pink large particle shimmer. This is quite glowy, and it's what I would classify as being a foil type shimmer. The particle is quite large, and it's going to give you that glistening effect. I chose to take this to 3 light coats, although 2 normal coats would completely work. So just depends on how you tend to polish and the length of your nails, blah, blah, blah. And this will also dry down quite flat too. So make sure you use a good glossy top coat. This is I don't know, it's like an icicle on your nails. And when I say that this brand is one of my top favorites that takes up Helmer space in my collection, this is a great example of why. Cloud Cover is a gray base with strong blue Aurora shimmer. This is one of my top picks for the video. It's so glowy good, and I do love a good gray base with blue shimmer. Really any type of blue shimmer will typically catch my attention, but this is just done so well. Cloud Cover has a strong cream-like feel on application. I thought that 2 coats plumped up perfectly, and it self-leveled really well, so compliments on the formula to this. 2 normal to somewhat heavier handed coats I think is perfect. Just, it's very user-friendly in that regard, especially for being a shimmer bomb. Disconnected is a pale brown base with green, blue, purple shifting shimmer. I would classify this one as being more of a true neutral type base, especially if you have warm undertones or of the medium skin tone variety too, like myself. I think this played up very well against myself as a almost true nude to me. So with that said, I think it's going to play up against your respective undertones, and I'm going to suggest 2 coats here too. Disconnected, very much like Cloud Cover, the previous one, has a very true cream-like formula to it. Chef's kiss on the smoothness of it, and again, 2 coats and a glossy top coat's what I would recommend. Earthbound is a light green when warm to a dark brown when cold thermal, with a beautiful green Aurora shimmer. This is another one of my top picks. I so love it. We don't get a whole lot of thermals from Emily Damali, and again, when they're done ridiculously well too. Earthbound has that very creamy, smooth formula to it as well, but very true to thermal finishes. This will also dry down really, really flat, almost matte-like. So if you have a thinner glossy top coat, you may want to help it out with a glitter smoothing top coat, but just going a little ham on your glossy top coat layer. This is quite shifty on the thermal properties and no issues getting it to start. Empty Within is a deep burgundy base with a subtle copper to gold to green shifting Aurora shimmer and bronze green blue shifting magnetic effect. This is another stunning magnetic polish. This is maybe one of my favorite magnetics that we're seeing in the video. I know we have a couple of them. I think this one would have to be one of my favorites, and it's with good reason. As you can see on the unmagnetized portion, it's a very copper type effect, but the magic happens when you magnetize it, and it's almost like this, I don't know, scarlet type of ruby background with that gold. It's very contrasting, and I'm so here for it. 2 coats, and again, this one was also very user-friendly. Fiery Attraction, speaking of top favorite magnetics for the video, is a deep red base with a red to copper shifting magnetic effect. Fiery Attraction is ridiculous. When I swatched it initially, I mean, my socks were just flown out of the room, knocked off my feet. This is just so pretty, and in a moment you can see that when it's magnetized, it is just as glorious as it is unmagnetized. This has that almost car paint-like quality to it, like a candy paint. It's so gorgeous. 2 coats, and again, very user-friendly. My photos were kind of skewing a little bit, so for the sake of accuracy, please refer to my full hand shot, the wiggle shot. Flicker in Time is a khaki green base with a strong copper gold green shifting Aurora shimmer and a blue to purple shifting magnetic effect. So we have another magnetic. This one is kind of like the second one that I showed you all. It's on the softer, ghostly, more ethereal type side. And this one I chose to take up to 3 coats to kind of plump it up and build it up. It has a very flat type of dry down to it, so you'll want to finish with a really good, thicker, glossy top coat of some sort if you're going to especially want to gloss it up and magnetize it. And yeah, you can definitely see that there is that nice contrast there, but you can see on the wiggle at the more angles, you'll see that stronger blue type of contrast. It's almost like a multi-chrome in its own respective way. For Everyone's Sake is a dusty blue base with an aqua blue shifting large particle shimmer and a purple pink gold green shifting magnetic effect. Purple lovers, this one's going to be up your alley. This is yet another one, for repeating myself here, that I took up to 3 coats. It does have a plumping type feel. You can kind of get an idea of that on my brush strokes on the second and third coat. So I kind of waffled, but I really liked the 3rd coat. Personally, it made it more loud and obnoxious, and I'm always saying when you magnetize nail polish, always make sure you have as much pigment as possible without making it lumpy on your nails. And we have lots of stark contrast here. It's interesting how the blue little specks in the magnetized portion kind of hid before you use the magnet on it. Gilded Mirage is a large particle green, blue, purple multi-chrome base with gold flakes. This is straight up multi-chrome action, and we've got lots and lots of flakes. To me, it's like Mardi Gras on your nails. Very easy to build up to opacity. I'm going to suggest between 2 to 3 coats on this one. You will have full coverage on the second coat. I would like to note that. If you have, falsies, you have a longer free edge or, wide load nails like me, I do think that third coat was necessary. And dry time was excellent too. So despite how plump it looks on the third coat, it dried down very well for me, especially going in with my glossy top coat. There is a dominant green to purple shift here, and the flakes will give you a touch of texture, so you may want to use a glitter smoother. Gray Horizon is a light gray base with a soft pink gold green shifting large particle shimmer. This is another one of my top picks. I like that it's almost like, I don't know, it's like sunlight on freshly fallen snow. That's rich coming from someone in the South, but it's got this nice gilded like effect to the shimmer. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think my full hand shot gives you a better idea of that. Overall, this is what I would consider a dusky type of finish, but I still thought it popped really well against myself, and 2 coats was the best, and it also had that strong, creamy, smooth formula to it, so I don't think a third coat's necessary regardless. Hear the Silence is a purple base with copper gold green shifting shimmer. This is another one of my top picks. I will forever say it. I've said it on my PPU video. I think there was a kind of a similar vibe over on that video too, but I will never get tired of these super beautiful kind of magenta, pinky, almost purple type thing. Now the Aurora shimmer does kind of color theory up to that purple base, and we've got that nice fiery, almost magenta appearance. It is so pretty and so flattering, in my opinion, especially on medium to deep skin tones, and 2 to 3 coats with a glossy top coat. Heavyweight, again, is another one of my favorites. I am a pink lover, and I do love a good pink pank, whether it's light or really rich and vibrant on the nails, especially with lots of shimmer, and you've got my heart. This one also has that nice creamy type of formula to it, though it is one of those shimmer balms that you'll want to kind of mind your brush strokes to prevent any potential bald spots on the nail. It's almost jelly-like in that you kind of want to be conscious of making sure you're being even on your layers, if that makes sense. So I chose 3 light coats, and you can see just how stunning that looks against my skin tone. Again, medium to deep skin tones, this will pop really well on you. This will also dry down really flat because we've got lots of shimmer, so use a good glossy top coat to kind of gloss it up and help the shift. Hit the Bottom, again, another one of my top picks. I'm telling you, these shimmers are so beautiful. This one is a steel blue base with strong copper gold green shifting large particle shimmer. Emily DeMolly also makes some of my favorite blue shimmers, and this one is no exception. Easy peasy formula, very much like the last 3 that we just saw. It's almost creamy, like a true cream polish. On application, I chose 2 coats. I didn't see a need to go up more than that, and it is shimmer good, while also in some lighting situations allowing that base color to pop through really well. This will also dry down flat, so again, use a good glossy top coat. Made Up My Mind is a green base with pink gold green shifting Aurora shimmer and a subtle dusty green magnetic effect. Made Up My Mind is what I would say is like it's sitting on the fence between being more subtle in terms of magnet appearance versus, one that is just loud and in your face. And in a moment, you'll get an idea of that. Another one that looks really cool, unmagnetized too, so your preference if you're feeling lazy per se. I think it looks really nice, and there's also those nice little pink flecks going throughout it. You can see it more visible in person. And then when you magnetize it, of course, we've got lots of movement because we have that very nice silver type of pigment that tends to move a lot on the nail. Again, I would suggest 2, possibly 3 coats depending, and a glossy top coat. Match Made in Heaven, speaking of shimmer favorites, is described as a white base with a strong copper gold green large particle shimmer. Match Made in Heaven is kind of like Heavyweight, that pale pink, in that it's very jelly-like in how it applies, though it is true acrylic in how it behaves. You'll want to be mindful of your coats. You can see that on my second coat there, that if you go in either heavy-handed or you overwork it or anything like that, you might have some streaks. So just let the paddle brush do the work and just kind of float it on the nail to get the best coverage. So again, 3 super light floating coats or 2 normal coats. This one also has that harsh dry down. Mystery Mire is a khaki green base with assorted iridescent flakes and matte blue glitters. This one's a really interesting one, and I love whenever we get like funky ones from this brand like this. I always appreciate when makers go out of their comfort zone because I know shimmers and magnetics and all that stuff are always popular, but it's always refreshing to see stuff like this because it's just different. And when you're feeling like a funky phase, I don't know how to describe it, but I really liked this one. I definitely appreciated it. I also appreciated that the glitters, I had no fishing, nothing like that. They're beautifully suspended throughout the bottle and no problems with careful placement or anything. It is spread beautifully on the nail. With that said, I will suggest 3 super thin coats, a glossy top coat, and a glitter smoother. No Big Deal is a light aqua blue base with green, blue, purple shifting large particle shimmer. This is my #1 polish in this entire video. And that's saying something because, we've got some stunning shimmers going on. But this color is gorgeous and I did not want to take it off when I swatched it. It's got a fantastic formula. As you can see on that second coat, excellent, excellent coverage. And I didn't have to be careful or anything like that with floating the polish or what have you. It's magnificent. And this is so, so flattering. I 10 out of 10 recommend you grabbing this one. 2 coats and a glossy top coat, and that was all I needed. Perfect Score is a light purple base with assorted iridescent flakes. This is what I would describe as being a lighter type of purple. It's very much like flirting with what I consider a true soft lavender, and it built up really well between 2 to 3 coats. Your preference on that, I chose to do that 3rd coat for the sake of I was curious what it was going to look like, though as you can see on the 2nd coat, it did plump up really well. So overkill, maybe, maybe not. But if you're extra like me, I liked it. So no issues there. And of course, no issues with dry down time. This will dry down quite flat though, so be mindful of that in that you may want to use a glitter smoother. And to save room for that, you might want to stop at the 2nd coat. Royal Flame is a dark gray base with a copper gold green large particle shimmer and a purple pink gold shifting magnetic effect. This is really in your face when you magnetize it. And if you want to wear it as just like a kind of glowy metallic type of purple, you absolutely can. It does have a strong flat dry down to it, so I chose to take it up to 3 coats. Again, maximizing the amount of polish on my nails to make the most stark magnetic line when I go in to magnetize it, and there you go, right there. Lots of movement with this one too, and just excellent, excellent opacity going on with it on that purple shift. It's like a multi-chrome on multi-chrome type action, and again, another very user-friendly magnetic. The Veil is a pale pink base with a strong green, blue, purple shifting large particle aurora shimmer and a silver magnetic effect. Speaking of that more, ghostly type of almost subtle, I think out of the entire video, the Veil has to be the most subtle magnetic effect. Of course, it looks really pretty, more like a pearly type of chrome when unmagnetized, and the magnetized, it's like, I don't know, it's almost like wedding vibes to me. I typically associate these really soft type of colors like this with that, but it is noticeable in person. There is quite a bit of movement with it, but it's just more subtle. Verdant Vortex is a deep red base with a green to red shifting shimmer and an orange to gold shifting magnetic effect. This one is really stunning. It's probably, I don't know, it's up there with my top 3, I guess I would have to say, magnetics for this video. It is so loud and it's like this, I don't know, like a deep red type of topaz, if you will, on the nail. Again, we have that chrome-like effect when unmagnetized, and magnetizing, we have lots of movement here too. I appreciated how there's this kind of fiery orange to red shift with the magnetic pigment. I don't think I've seen something like that. I don't know. To me, it was very unique. Wait for the Universe is a dusty blue base with copper gold green shifting aurora shimmer and silver holographic microflakes. This is another one of my top picks for this video. Of course, it is very pretty, easy to build up to opacity, and I'm going to suggest 2 normal or 3 light coats. Those of you who missed out on Bee's Knees Lacquer line with a thorn in its paw, I do think this is pretty close. If you'd like to see me do a comparison of that, I am happy to bring out my OG BKL bottle. I do have that in my arsenal if you'd like to see the comparison. But anyways, this is beautiful and stunning. It's just glorious. I 10 out of 10 recommend you getting this one too. Wish for Tomorrow is a bright green base with silver reflective glitters. Another top pick for me. There's quite a few in this video. I do apologize about that. I try to be as, I don't know, I guess strict and harsh on my decisions on when I'm trying to name top picks for big videos like this, but I'm sorry, there's a lot of them for good reason. Wish for Tomorrow is glorious, and I love this color so much. It is a true flattering type of bright green, medium to deep skin tones. This is one of those greens I think will pop really well on you too, as it does for me. It's very sparkly in person too, perfect for spring and summer. I'm going to suggest 2 coats, a glitter smoothing top coat, and a glossy top coat. And we're going to wrap this up with the Willet Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. After the fall, it looks really cool over black. It's almost got this nice jewel toned effect like that. Airflow is gorgeous over black. There's a ton of layering you can do with this one. All That I Wanted also passes the test, but personally, I don't think you're doing it as much justice wearing it by itself. Animated Gaze, same thing as the first two. It looks gorgeous layered. Same thing with Behind Again, which I was pleasantly surprised. It is so vibrant in person over black. Check Again, I think you can do a ton with this one, especially purples and blues, that type of thing. Cloud Cover, sort of. I guess if you wanted something vampier, it might work. Disconnected, same thing. It looks really cool. Just be mindful of your brush strokes here. Fiery Attraction. Yes, it passes the test for layering, but personally, I would not. You're not doing it justice. Empty Within, same thing as the previous one, the red one. I don't know. I don't think you're doing them justice. We have some damn good magnetics in this video, and I personally don't like them toppered because you're taking away, I guess, opacity, for lack of better words. Gilded Mirage is too opaque in my opinion, and the other shimmers like Hear the Silence, Gray Horizon, that sort of thing, I do think you might be able to get away with them, but Gray Horizon and Heavyweight here, I think they give you good ideas that you just need to be very mindful of your brush strokes and how thick or thin you go in on each of your nails if you're going to layer these, especially over non-matchy-match colors. Made Up My Mind is, it's, even though it's one of the more subtle magnetics, I still think you're just not doing it justice. Match Made in Heaven, that's what I'm talking about. Just be really mindful of how you're polishing, especially if you're going to use, say, a white undie for your base. That might be a little more forgiving. No Big Deal is very pretty, just don't overwork it like what I did. Perfect Score, I'm on the fence about this one. I think a purple base would probably be it for layering. Royal Flame, same thing. I'm just repeating myself on the magnetics here. They all look so pretty and stunning on their own, except the Veil. I guess I eat my words on that. I spoke too soon. This one looks really cool over a black swatch stick. So I don't know, I say dark colors. Verdant, it's interesting. You do get more of a khaki pull with it, but your choice on that. Wait for the Universe passes the test, but you are dehorning a unicorn, and same thing with Wished for Tomorrow. So again, all of these are currently available in Emily DeMolly's website. I will link you all below to the US and international site. In addition to our Aussie friends, I will have the Australian link also in the description box too. And I'll also have the Facebook group if you'd like to join that in the description box too. You can interact with Haley. She's super cool. Or of course, you can always follow the brand through the website directly or on Instagram as well. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.